You wouldn't have thought Politico was getting government money, now would you? I mean, Politico could find itself going totally out of business. They couldn't even pay their employees this week. You know why? Elon Musk, DOGE, they shut down the systems, which meant all that money that typically would come into a place like Politico wasn't coming in. And it doesn't seem like it may ever be coming back in. And you're talking about a whole lot of money. I mean, take a look at this, $8.2 million, 237 transactions. You know what's really amazing if you look at this stuff, guys? Look at how much the money went up. Wow. You can really see it start to spike there. Like it's way down here. Do you see on the screen? Low, this little yellow line. It's way down in the doldrums. And then 2020 comes along. Well, what do you know? Politico's raking in the cash. And then you fast forward. Oh, wow, you get to 2024. And my goodness gracious, they're just like the mothership. I mean, look at how much money they were collecting. So, why would this be? Oh, they say there's a simple explanation. You know, they were selling subscriptions to the government. Donald Trump had some fun with this. He knows that Politico may be going out of business very soon, and he kind of razzed him up a little bit. There at a breakfast this morning. Listen.
Well, did you see what happened yesterday where they found hundreds of millions of dollars of money was fraudulently given to newspapers and I guess Politico? I don't know. They're here. Good. I hope you're enjoying your breakfast.
Yeah, because it may be your last one. Oh, boy. So see this note that went out? Like never in the history of the company have they missed a pay period. But they had a payroll issue. And it's actually a German company, primarily a German company now, Axel Springer, that bought Politico for what? $1 billion, some crazy, crazy deal. So Goalie and the guy who runs it here in the U.S. wanted everybody to know that this morning's payroll issue directly, they wanted to speak directly about the payroll issue. He said, due to what we believe to be a technical error, just a glitch, guys, just a glitch, nothing to see here. Employees did not receive their paychecks as scheduled. We understand the urgency of this matter and sincerely apologize for the inconvenience. Our team is working diligently with our systems vendors and the bank to identify the root cause and implement a solution as quickly as possible. We will keep you updated as soon as we learn more and will resolve the problem as quickly as possible. Thank you for your patience and understanding. If you have any immediate concerns, please feel free to reach out. Yeah, I mean, I might be a little concerned. You know what happened? They shut off the spigot. Hey, look at all that money that was coming in. They were still making a lot in the first month of the year, for goodness sakes, in 2025. Look at how much they were making. Well, all of a sudden, Elon and company, DOGE, decides, yep, we're cutting this one off. This is not happening. And as a result, I'm telling you, I think I know exactly what happened. They didn't have the money in the bank. Right? They probably keep a very small amount of money in there, just what they need for payroll. They have certain expectations that things are coming in. You know, the government check, it usually doesn't bounce until Elon decides to get in the way of this and shut off your funding. So they froze the funding. DOGE froze the funding. Treasury freezes all this stuff. They're like, the subscription to Politico for $8 million? I don't think so. And all of a sudden, they can't make payroll. It's pretty wild, right? I mean, now they're sending out, we're sorry. And you say, well, is the company going to go out of business? I mean, it's a real concern. If you're not going to have all this money piling in, it's a real concern. But, I think Axel Springer can.
USA ID has gotten a lot of attention the last couple of days with some of these bizarre things that taxpayers have been funding. Now it looks like there are a couple media outlets that have been dragged into this conversation as far as USA ID funding as well. Does the president have any comment on that?
So upon coming out here to the briefing room, I was made aware of the funding from USAID to media outlets, including Politico, who I know has a seat in this room. And I can confirm that the more than $8 million taxpayer dollars that have gone to essentially subsidizing subscriptions to Politico on the American taxpayer's dime will no longer be happening. The DOGE team is working on canceling those payments now. Again, this is a whole of government effort to ensure that we are going line by line when it comes to the federal government's books. And this president and his team are making decisions across the board on, do these receipts serve the interests of the American people? Is this a good use of the American taxpayers' money? If it is not, that funding will no longer be sent abroad, and American taxpayers will see.
Okay. That was a lot of money they were getting. Just to kind of talk about those subscriptions. What do you know? $10,000 per year for a subscription to Politico. Now, apparently it was like super duper Politico, but they're no Bloomberg, thank you very much. So just exactly what are you going to do with all their insight and knowledge about politics for $10,000? That's pretty hefty. $8.2 million across 236 subscriptions over the years. Quote, "We are proud of the value that our Political Pro platform and policy journalism gives to all subscribers. As a practical matter, the overwhelming majority of our professional subscriptions under Political Pro are in the private sector. It just so happens that we get a little money from the government on the side too." And you kind of wonder, why? Could it be because back in 2020, all those spies who came up with that letter, the 51X spooks and hacks that said, oh, this laptop is totally not what Steve Bannon and Rudy Giuliani think it is. No. This laptop is totally misinformation, disinformation, spread by the Russians. You need to know that. You need to understand it. And where did they put that story? Da-da-da, in Politico, where the government pays them $8.2 million across 236 subscriptions. And you know what's really amazing about those subscriptions? If you're a government worker, you don't even have a choice. You work for the government, you get a Politico Pro subscription. Look at you, $10,000. Gosh, you'd think that might just raise some eyebrows. Here's a guy, Sam Lyman. I want to share with you his tweet. So he used to work in the Senate. He's a policy guy, right? And he talked about this. He said, when I worked in the Senate, we all had Politico Pro by default. So you don't even have a choice. They give it to you, whether you want it or not, because, hey, they got to transfer money somehow. Usually they use an NGO. Here they just, I guess, used an actual, quote unquote, subscription. I never signed up for it, he writes. So I can only assume it was a blanket deal Politico had worked out with the federal government. I never used it, not even once. Got zero value out of it. Gobsmacking to hear a subscription for $10,000. I mean, I'd say that this is a lot for a subscription. I got to talk to Rob. I don't think we're charging enough. Rob, 76research.com, everyone. I mean, you can get it for $1 a month for the first 2 months. Then it goes to $9.95. But clearly, there's a whole market out there that I never even figured out how to tap into. That would be USAID. That would be the U.S. government. Ours actually does have value because you might actually make some money in the stock market if you follow what we're recommending. Oh, I'm getting all, it's like my iris keeps getting up because I hear about this and I'm blown away and I'm so disgusted and I knew exactly what was going on, okay? So they found a way to make effectively transfer payments. And you noticed how the transfer payments were really coming into high gear in 2024 and they're going to sit back and say, oh, no, nothing to see here. We didn't do anything wrong. We just sold Politico Pro and it cost $10,000 a year. There is no political subscription, mind you, that costs $10,000 a year. Absolutely not. That's the most wild, ridiculous thing I have ever heard. But go get a good subscription, would you? 76research.com, code word $, because this stuff is insane.